guys. You're back here in the Faith Podcast with Jules and Mary, episode 25. I was just telling Jules, every time we do another episode and I find out the number, I'm just like, oh my gosh, number what? Some exciting stuff though.
I know, halfway to 50.
I know, we're nearly there.
Yeah, that's my age. I wish.
It's all right, cuz you look it. It's fine.
How are you?
I'm good. I had the I'll ask you how you're doing first. Sorry. How are you?
All right. I'm good. Yeah.
You're good? That's good.
Same old, tired.
Oh, they're doing amazing, man. I've been staying here a lot. I'm very grateful.
I think I'm going to be tired for the next few months.
I think so too.
That'll be my staple answer.
But how amazing does she look though? She looks amazing.
How are you?
I'm good. I had my really good friend's wedding yesterday. Beautiful people. It was such a good wedding. Very, very flash. Very nice. Very fun. I had a lot of fun.
Le Montage, eh?
Yeah, super beautiful place. Like super beautiful venue. Amazing view. Flash as I felt so from the West.
How was the food?
The food was so good. Like bougie as, but like it was good.
Yeah.
And we didn't know it would be that filling.
Oh wow.
Like you know how sometimes you go to places and they have these tiny ass portions and you're just like you know you're gonna go to McDonald's after. Yeah. But the food was amazing. I shared a lot of it with my friends, like because you know how they have like you get one thing, the next person gets another thing. Like you don't get to choose, which is fine because I can eat pretty much anything. But it was so good. The food was amazing. I cried a lot.
And also she came over after the ceremony, and there was because there's a break between ceremony and reception, so she came over and the first thing I said, "Did you cry?"
Because they know I'm the family crier. I cry at everything. So I was like, yes.
Cried the ceremony, the reception.
Yeah, I cried at everything. Like from the start to like the end, I was just puffy-eyed, red. Yeah. And they know red nose is my signature cry face sign. So yeah, it's just so good. I can't wait for one of our family members to get married and like it's going to be so beautiful. So it was good stuff.
How's the because I'm starting to cry at ceremonies now. I never used to. But
see?
Yeah. But it's always when the kids come out.
Yes.
That's when I'm like, And then at the reception, so is the bride and father. Dance. Yeah.
Oh, that was even the speeches. For me, the maid of honor, her speech, it got me.
Oh,
it
wow.
full got me because she has a son, and the bride is really close to her son. So she mentioned how much she loves her best friend and everything, but the hugest thing for her is the way her son looks at her best friend.
Oh.
And then I was just like, and I was like, stay strong.
There's something there.
I was like, just winning. And then we got our dancer. Oh man, that was one of my favorite parts, the dancing. So all those people that were dancing together, I didn't know we are friends now, friends for life. So.
And this one's the life of the party. Always.
I'll own it.
All right, let's get straight into it. So we'll start off with the icebreaker.
Mad.
So today, what are your top 3 pet peeves?
Oh man. Top 3 pet peeves. Okay. Is it like
Not just any pet peeves.
Any pet peeve. I think my top one is people mistreating others, so to speak. That's one of my hugest pet peeves. Like just selfishness. Like I just don't like it. I think it's unnecessary. I know we're human, but when people make things all about them, it's just not for me, man. Like I know we all have issues, we all have our problems, we all have things that we're going through. I get that. Like we're not perfect, we're human. But when it's just a constant like I have to make this about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. And you're just like, yeah, but it's not all about you. Like the world.
Shut up.
Get the hell out of here. So leave. I don't have time. And I think because life is so short, there's just no need. But yeah, that's probably my top pet peeve. Second pet peeve is I'm trying to think. Okay, you know when you go somewhere and for us island girls, we know not where our place is, but we know the role we play.
Yeah.
And the way we grew up is we're not just we're only in the kitchen, like that's where we're meant to be. Like I don't want to hear any like sexist jokes, like because that's another baby, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so we know our role, and my thing is when we go to functions, and we do the same at every house we go to, whether it's our house, her house, our in-laws' house, our friends' houses, we know the drill. So when we eat or whatever, and then like it's time to clean up, for me, like what's that thing where many hands make light work? Yeah, that's the quote. So for me, it gets sorted quicker if everyone does like their part.
Yeah.
One of my pet peeves is people who don't use their brains and like think, oh, I should probably do that.
Yep. They
just sit around and like, and meanwhile, like there's like us in the kitchen, and like I know it's like, but I don't care. I just don't like it because I'm just like, you have that sense of respect when you go to other people's houses, when you're at your own house, you take care of like each other kind of thing. So when it's not reciprocated, I'm just like, you're not better than me, man.
You're not the queen.
I know. I was like, who do you think you are? So that's another pet peeve. It's one of those things we've probably grown used to.
Yeah, but we also grew up like our mums taught us that.
Yeah,
like whenever you go to someone's house, you always help.
Yeah,
and it's just common courtesy.
I agree. Like I know people were brought up differently.
Yeah,
but I still think like you still have that sense of like you have common sense.
And then you wouldn't feel right sitting if you were to sit there and other people are cleaning.
That's how I feel when if that's how I would feel. I would feel so uncomfortable if I'm sitting there and there's people around me like cleaning or tidying up or whatever, and then I'm just sitting there.
Yeah,
like, it's not a good look. It's not even about that. It's just be a nice person and help. Okay, that's number 2. Jeez, this is getting heavy. Third pet peeve. Jeez, this is hard. Last one.
Yeah, it was hard because I have a lot.
That's why I'm like thinking, but which one's like more annoying than the other one? That's why I'm just like, which one's more annoying? Jeez, I can't think. Let me just 2 more seconds.
Clipping nails, clipping toenails.
What the hell?
Chewing.
So now I know what you've got on your list.
Nah.
I'm just like,
mine's kind of personal. Nah.
Oh, crap.
No, I'm really joking.
Oh, I got it. Okay, I was just telling Jules this. When we're not happy with each other, because we get along super well, very close, love each other heaps, but even we have things that we disagree on, as anyone would. But we're really good in that sense where we can tell each other. So if I don't like something, I can tell her, hey, because like, I don't like this or whatever. And if she doesn't like something that I'm doing or whatever, she can tell me that.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's very open and there's that sense of, again, respect, and it should be, to me, it's easy. It's easy to just be upfront about things.
Yeah.
I don't like, one of my hugest pet peeves is when someone's not happy with you, but they don't tell you.
Yeah.
But they get all passive aggressive, but you have no idea, like, because, I'm not always perfect. I don't know what I've done wrong.
Yeah.
And if they had just told me, that's fine. I will own it. I will apologize. I'll be like, look, I'm sorry. I didn't know. In future, I won't do that again. Whatever. But I can't stand it when you don't, like, they don't say anything. If you don't say anything and then you're telling other people and then it comes back around that I find out.
Yeah.
That's what makes me angry, because I'm just like, had you just told me up front, it could have been squashed ages ago. I love squashing things right quick.
Yeah.
It's just better for everyone.
Yeah.
Because you get over it a lot faster and there's not this stuff festering and it carries on and it carries on.
And then it's like the fakeness that you put on when you see them.
You see them.
Yeah.
Like, why? What's the point?
Yeah.
So I just, it's not fun. It makes everyone else, because then everyone else knows.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable as for everyone.
Yeah.
Why?
That passive aggressiveness.
Oh, I can't stand the passive aggressiveness. And they try and like say things nicely, but it's like you can translate it to what they really want to say to you. And you're just like, just say it.
Like, how are you? Good. It's like, are you really?
Are you sure? You're just like, just be upfront. So that's another pet peeve, because I'm really good at I know when I've done something wrong, and I know I'll apologize and I'll be like, I won't do it again. Or if I disagree, we can hash it out. Yeah. I am all good with hashing things out. But if you don't say nothing and then you tell all these other people and then you treat me a certain way and then it comes back around and it goes in a circle, that's when I'm like, you know what? Get out of here.
I know. But then you get people who are like they're like, oh, I'm straight up, but they're pretty like some of them can be a bit too aggressive. Like there's a difference between like being straight up and actually just being
rude,
abusive.
Yeah, there's like a borderline. You know, it's crossing a line a bit.
Because the way we say it, like if there was something that I wasn't happy with you or you weren't happy with me, like it would be the hey cuz, like you know that thing you did the other day, you know, it just made me feel uncomfortable,
or I felt this type of way about it. Is it okay? Like next time, don't do that. And we've never been the type to be like you know, no, like shut the hell up. We've never been like that because it's stupid.
And be like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. You know, like I actually meant it this way. Or, oh, sorry, you're offended. And like it is a little bit uncomfortable and then you know awkward, but the sooner you get it sus, the sooner it's over with. Whereas if you prolong the damn thing, why? Just wasting time. I know. Yeah.
All right, so that's my 3.
Awesome. I'll quickly go through mine.
No, go.
So my top 3 is, you know, I hate when people stop when you're walking in a crowd and people all of a sudden stop.
That is annoying.
Like, why?
Yeah. Why are you in this aisle?
It's like you're like, you know, everybody's walking one direction. Everybody's like, you know, like you know, you're all walking, and then someone's just like, Because there's so many times when I'm almost like, you know, on top of this person because they just like
hit the brakes out of nowhere.
They should have the, you know, the same road rules on the pavements as well. But a lot of other, you know, like similar to that. But I don't like when people sort of, you know, they're in the way.
Yeah.
So you know how people are just in the way all the time. But there's some that are pretty like just straight up rude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, say when I went to, when Brody was in daycare, and you know, you have all the parents are sitting down and they're performing and everything, and everyone, you know, we're all excited, we all got our phones out and everything, but because we were already like we all had our positions, but then come the performance, you just have all these other parents. They just all of a sudden now they like push to the front, and they're like you know, with their cameras and stuff like that, and I'm just like,
bruh.
I know one was just right here.
Oh my gosh!
Like the
you
back
of
the
sneezed. You should have sneezed on their neck.
This was before COVID, but far out. And it's like, honest, there was this one parent, like you have so you're sitting here and then there's a bit of space and then the kids are performing. This one she might as well go stand next to the child. That's how close that person was. I was like, no shame, man. Why is there no shame?
Like, you know, they're there for the kid and they're very excited for the kid, but like there's still like boundaries and stuff, man. Like, come on.
And like the amount of personal space that you lose every time. I find schools are the worst.
Oh no. I have that to look forward to next year.
The other one is I can't stand fiopokos, like know-it-alls.
Oh my gosh.
Hard out. I can't
oh my
stand
gosh.
that
should have been one of mine. But I'm glad you took this one.
Yeah. Because my partner is a big fiopoko.
It's coming out, guys.
No, you know when like you say something, and then they're like no, and there's like they'll say something else, like they're trying to prove, you know, another point, and you know they're wrong, they're wrong. They're so confident, and then like, you know, they'll push it, and then it's like, shut up, man, no.
It's even funnier. No, exactly. It's even funnier when you tell, like, when you call a palangi a fiopoko.
I know.
It's for me. I
get to a point where he knows what that means. Exactly, now, it's pretty much his nickname.
There's no babe or honey. It's fiopoko.
But yeah, like I can't stand people who think they know it all. Yeah, and it's like, you know, like there's a lot of times when somebody will explain something to me, and I know that they're wrong. Yeah, but I just like, you know, sort of
brush it off. Like,
yeah. But then, like, you know, I don't go in there and sort of be like, oh no, actually, it's
technically speaking, you're just like, relax.
Yeah. But that's the other, like, that's the other aspect of fiapoko-ness that, you know, I can't stand as well is when they, like, you know, they're in your face, like, trying to prove you wrong.
And they're so adamant. And you're just like, take a breath, man. Like,
or they correct you.
Oh. The rolling off our eyes is just like, oh, man. Especially when, like, no offense, people who have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But they have this thing in their head where they feel like they should say something.
Yeah.
And then they say it, not thinking that you are going to get offended.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, but you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like my thing is mainly with parenting. And it's people who aren't even parents.
Yes.
They're like in my face, like, you should have done this, or I'm never going to do this. And when I'm a parent, I'm going to do this. And I'm just like, but are you a parent yet?
I know. Or at my old job when, you know, when I was working with millennials. Not that I hate all millennials, but yeah.
She hates you all, okay? She hates me.
No. You know, there's certain those kids that are very like entitled.
Yes.
And so like they just started the job and I'm training them and they think they know.
Oh, that's the
role.
worst.
Like, I'm like, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're jumping ahead. And he's like, oh, I already know. Like, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and they have that attitude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's so easy.
Yeah, that's why when you leave them, they come ask you like 25 questions. You're just like, that's what you said, it's easy.
Yeah. No, I got to that point where I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, you know what? Go for it.
Yeah.
No,
They make all these
got
mistakes.
an error.
Got an error.
Shut up. And the other one, my other pet peeve is I don't like. I think I've come to term with this recently, actually, because before it wasn't really a pet peeve for me because I was doing it, but playing the victim.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, you know, I'm at that point now where I'm just like, look, you know, so, like, yeah, it's okay that, you know, people go through shit.
Yeah.
People go through shit.
Hard.
But when you prolong it and you purposely do not find the solution to your problems, but you'd rather delve into just, you know, everybody feels sorry for me and blah, blah.
Like, I need attention.
Yeah.
Look at me. Feel sorry for me. Like, you're right. People go through stuff.
Yeah.
But how long do you want to stay in that sort of like grey cloud like kind of thing? Like,
But,
how long?
Yeah, but it's not even like them just staying in the grey cloud. It's them enjoying staying in the grey cloud because being a victim for them, they get attention.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people like that. I'm like...
It's really frustrating sometimes because you're just like, we all have stuff going on.
Yeah.
I would really love to stay in my like dark cloud, but there's no point because, you know, you have things to do. You have to keep moving forward and whatever. And then you have to listen to it all the time. Like, when you have to listen to someone who constantly plays the victim, like, I know things happen, but like, if you're just stuck in that mindset and you want to bring everyone down with you, it's so tiresome, man. I'm so exhausted.
Or when, like, you know, you get all, like, you know, people are giving you advice and that, and you know, you're just... You're not even hearing the advice because you're already like, nah, like, you know.
Yeah, set in your ways.
Yeah. No, actually, it's I'm just so sad, blah, blah. So, like, you know, like at work, sometimes a lot of people will be like, you know, like, you say, hi, how are you? And they're like, oh, not doing so well. So, you know, you help them out, blah, blah. But then when it gets to every day of, like, you know, for the month, it's like, how are you? And it's the same thing. I'm just like, oh, yeah, nah, I don't care.
And then you walk in the next morning, you're just like
just like, hi,
not today.
The same story.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, I don't like people delve too much into their feelings.
Or they just dwell in it. You're just staying there.
They love it, but don't do anything to fix it. Anyway,
that was good.
I know.
We let out of a lot of frustrations for that, like icebreaker.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel light.
Yeah, I feel like a weight's been lifted. I'm good.
All right, the next segment I have is Story of the Day. So I found this on the internet, on Facebook actually.
Yeah.
And it's to do with the Taurunga.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so how do I explain that?
So, okay.
So when, you know, at island functions, when you go to perform or, you know, you have the girl who's dancing and you know, the whole family dancing around and that's the taurunga. Yeah.
So weddings, birthdays, any function. And there's always a specific girl who's chosen to come out and put on this. She's wearing the beautiful. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what it's called. The beautiful island wear.
Yeah.
And she's performing in front of everyone, and then everyone gets up, dances, but then some people give money and stuff like that. So that's the tauranga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tongans do it as well.
Yeah.
So with us, the girl, her title is, so her role is the taupou.
Yeah.
What do they call it in? Oh, anyway. So when I read something, and so I did not know that this was a modern thing, and people do not like it. Like the elders do not like it. You know when the guy or the brother,
yes,
so we call it aiuli.
Yeah.
So when he slides onto the floor, and the taupou puts her
foot on him,
that's
it's a no
disrespectful, very disrespectful. Yeah. So that goes against the the traditions and that. I did not know that's a new thing.
I heard about it. I forgot who had it, and then someone posted like you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of like confrontation.
Yeah.
So
So apparently, to our elders, the how do I say it?
It's like the relationship between
Yeah. So the proper way is that the taupou she dances. The aiuli's role as the brother is to not is to dance behind her or like on the sides.
Yeah.
Not in front of her. And definitely not on the floor for her to put her foot on.
Yeah.
So that's the proper way to do it.
Yeah.
I think the Tongans as well, that's a new thing that they've just started doing as well.
Oh, they put the foot on as well?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either, but a lot of, the older generation Tongans, it's a no-no as well.
Yeah.
But they're because they're getting it from us, and it's been a trend thing.
Yeah.
That so they're doing it too.
I wonder how that came to be though. Like, I wonder how they went from the guy slides onto the floor and then she puts her foot on him. Like, when I'm trying to figure out how that came to be.
Yeah. Maybe there was animosity between the
brother and the sister.
The brother and the
sister.
Just
wanted to sully him. She wanted to stomp on him.
She was trying to tell him, no, don't. He probably fell.
Yeah.
And she went to go kick him off.
And then we took it as new dance move.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, because I remember reading something like that, but it was talking about the relationship between the sister and the brother is very, I wouldn't say sacred, but it's very special.
Yes.
Like it's a very special bond between brother and sister.
Yeah.
So it's he will always be there to take care of, look out for the sister.
Yeah.
Even if it's younger or older, the brother's meant to be there.
Yeah. And it's back then, what was the so back then, the brother and the sister could not even be close. Mm-hmm. They were not allowed to be. Oh wait, Yeah, so the sacredness between the space between them, but so one article. So in the article it says you're supposed to be far away from the taupou, or in Tongan I think the tahine. Tauranga. So they have to be far away.
Yeah.
But other accounts say no, you can be close, but just be on the sides or behind, because that's what the brother's always got to be either behind or on the sides to protect the sister.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
But never ever in front.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I didn't know that, and when I read it, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I feel like not many people do know that. Then.
Yeah.
A lot of people are out there doing it, so they're just not. They haven't been made aware yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So.
So more of the story, guys. Don't do that. It's not part of the tradition, and the elders aren't gonna like it. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Chus.
Yeah, it was interesting. I always thought it was a thing that happened in because I always see it, and I never, we see it in a lot of functions that we go to, but I never knew that was wrong.
No, I've gone to functions where they don't do that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I've gone to island birthdays or weddings, and they don't do that.
All right, so guys, do not slide in front of the slide on the floor.
Yeah.
And girls do not stomp on them.
Yeah. So anything to take away from this, it's that. So
all right. Next segment. So what's on your mind? So this one, I had to read this one like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And for it to sink in, but when it sank in, it was so good.
Okay.
So if you want to know who controls you, look at who you are not allowed to criticize. So if you want to know who controls you, look at who you are not allowed to criticize. So the people that
I'm lost.
Yeah, like it took me ages. I was like, so look at people in your life that you're not allowed to criticize.
Yep.
So for example, your managers.
Yep.
Those are the people that control you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking like different.
Oh.
I was thinking like, can you say it again one more time, sorry, Chris?
If you want to know who controls you, look at who you are not allowed to criticize.
I was looking at it more from my own perspective. So like the person who controls you is the person you're not meant to criticize, which is myself. That's how I took it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
Oh. Wait, sorry?
Just like, oh yeah, just what? You know how like, okay, so it's like, if you want to know who controls you, look at the person you're not meant to criticize. So I'm looking at it like, for me, I'm really bad. I'm getting better though. I was super like critical of myself, super critical, like just bad. But I am in charge of my own mind. So I control myself. So I shouldn't be able to criticize myself. Like you can, but at a certain point.
Okay.
That's how I took that quote.
Oh.
I took it like, I'm in charge of me, so I shouldn't criticize myself so harshly. I'm going to use it like that.
Oh, okay. No, this one is who.
Oh.
So if you want to know who controls you, look at who you are not allowed to criticize.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so for example, your boss.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to criticize your boss.
Yeah.
So that's the person that controls you.
Yeah.
Your
but is that just only... Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So like if there's someone like any of your friends that you're not allowed to criticize because they're, I don't know what.
Yeah.
But they might be the ones that actually control you.
Oh.
Or like control situations that you're in or whatever.
I get it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. I was like looking at, and then I started writing people who can't criticize. Just
like
you know what? But yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna choose to still stick with mine though.
yeah.
Nah, thanks guys. That was a bad one. That's for making me think though. I'm just like,
I know. That's what I liked about it because it made me think a lot.
Yeah,
and I was just like, oh yeah.
Jeez. All right. Very nice.
All
Very
right.
nice.
Okay, heading towards our Chus jokes. I'm really hoping this one's going to be funny.
I hope so, because mine are never funny, and then I'm like, why do we have this segment for me? Can I not do the segment?
But this one is a kid's one.
Oh man! All right, hit me.
But my brother told me this one ages ago, but I could not stop laughing. I don't know, but I'm easy, so
Yeah.
Okay. An ant, a spider. Okay, wait. An ant, a spider, and a centipede are holding a party.
Okay.
The ant realizes that they are running low on beer, so he offers to head out to buy some more beers. Mm-hmm. Then the spider says, "Nah, let me do it. I got more legs, so I'll go." Mm-hmm. And then the centipede says, "No, wait. Let me do it. You take too long, and I have more legs than you. I can do it faster."
Yeah.
And then the centipede... Oh, yeah. And then the bugs all agree that the centipede's going to do it. So 10 minutes pass, then 20 minutes, then 30, and then more. And then the spider goes, "What's taking him so long?" And then the ant decides to head out to investigate. So he opens the front door and he sees the centipede outside. The ant asks, "Oh, have you just come back?" And the centipede replies, "Nah, man, I haven't left yet. I'm still putting on my shoes." I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
That was so simple, but for some reason, I just cracked up for hours. Because in my head, I was picturing this bloody centipede
trying to put on
putting his shoes on.
That was a good one. I like that one. I'm going to use that one now. Oh, Laura, it should have been the end. It should have just been the end. Only 6 legs, man. Silly.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, cuz. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. So, well, moving on to our main topic. So the reason why I came up with this one is because for some reason I have lately I've been having this thing with name origins, like with my my kids.
Yep.
When I name them, when I give them their names, I always look at the meanings, and then I look at my my meaning for my name and and everyone else around me.
Yeah.
But so for me, name meanings are it's just been my interest lately for some reason. So today's topic is etymology of the Pacific Islands. So basically where the Pacific Island names come from.
Cool.
So I've picked a few, Do
you mean names as in people's names?
No, it's the country name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Samoa. So I wanted to start off with Samoa because, Samoan, but also because no one can freaking come up with an explanation for it.
That actually makes sense, though.
Yeah. So the people of Samoa, they all have different explanations, theories, stories, but there's nothing nothing for
solid.
Certain. Yeah.
Oh.
So one anthropologist in the 60s, so she learnt the language. She could speak it fluently. So she asked she asked the Samoans and that, where did the name Samoa come from? And a lot of them, they all, she asked the questions repeatedly, and it was just all different answers.
Oh.
But she said so none of the answers were plausible. One explanation is that there were 2 gods, Sa and Moa. But that was one account, and that was some accounts. But then when they looked into the legends, there's no god.
I was never heard of that.
The names didn't appear in any of the legends. So oh yeah, okay.
It's how accurate is this information though?
That's if you were what is the name? I came from there was Sa and there was Moa, and now Samoa.
That's such an easy way out there, a cop out. Just that's how we got the name.
But that's such a smart ass answer that
it really is.
Someone would get to a
someone would say that. Yeah, that actually is true. That's actually true.
You see, all right. And then the other one. So another explanation is that so Sa meaning tribe of plus Moa. Moa said to be the family name of the early Tui Manua.
Okay.
So that was one explanation. The other one, others made use of the common Samoan word moa, which means chicken.
Yeah.
And then came up with explanations on why we are called the chicken tribe. Okay. So sorry, 'cause this was just so ridiculous.
Okay.
So Sa.
Yeah.
Means not
allowed. Don't do it.
So the common interpretation. So it was Sa, you got forbidden. More chicken. So people say that back then the chicken is forbidden as an early public health measure. And that's why we're the chicken tribe. Because we're not allowed to eat chicken.
Man. It ain't it. What do you mean? It's the main meat we all buy because it's cheap and no, I do not believe. Sorry, whoever came up with that, I don't think it's that.
Yeah, that was way too literal. Sa more
forbidden chicken.
Yeah, so that one was just ridiculous, man. I bet you the person that said that was eating a chicken.
They're at KFC somewhere
Yeah, why would you name that a whole country just based off like
Chicken.
public health, like
No
your
offense.
dietary
I know.
requirements?
I was like, I don't think Samoans even care about their dietary requirements. So I'm like, are you sure?
So another suggestion is that the word moa
Yeah.
is in connection with the word moana, which we all like. Moana is ocean or deep sea in Samoan. Mm-hmm. So the hypothesis suggests that the word sa, which is again tribe of, moa from moana means people of the deep sea.
See, I think I like that one. And I think that would probably be the most accurate for me.
Yeah, yeah. And then the last one I have, because there were heaps, but the last one I had was so another source explained their theory. So Reverend John B. Stair, he wrote a book called Old Samoa.
Yep.
So it was one of the earliest accounts of Samoan history. So it was written in 1843, mm-hmm. and he quotes in the book, Samoa is the fountainhead and cradle of Polynesia. So the theory is around the Polynesian origin. So it kind of contradicts the traditional view that we were voyagers.
Yeah.
So this one was pretty much based around the creation of people, mm-hmm. and that what is it? So that Tangaloa Alangi created the world and the Samoan people out of the earth.
Okay. Hence
their name Samoa, which is moa, which is another translation of moa is middle.
Yep.
So anything born out of the moa or center of the earth was mm-hmm. sacred, which is the sa, sacred to moa.
Okay.
So Samoa.
Oh yeah. That was a nice one.
Yeah, that was
That's an interesting one.
But then,
sorry, I'm still thinking about the chickens.
I know. Funny hell. I bet you all these like bloody smart asses are like,
yeah, it's because
and more. Oh, chicken tribe. We're not allowed to eat chicken.
I'm just lies, fraudulent.
I know. But yeah. Those were what I came up with, but still uncertain where the word Samoa, where the name Samoa came from.
Yeah.
All right. Kim, I didn't know if it was actually chicken tribe.
Man, I'll eat my hat if that was the truth. Then
tribe of the chicken.
Oh man.
All right. So Tonga. So the word Tonga comes from whakatonga, mm-hmm. which means southwards.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is because it's the southernmost group among the island groups of central Polynesia. Mm-hmm. The word Tonga is cognate to the Hawaiian word kona.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning leeward, which is the origin of the name for the Kona district in Hawaii.
Okay.
So yeah.
Tonga's one was short and sweet.
It was simple.
Yeah. No animals, no poultry.
That's what I mean. Like some ones, they're probably just baking shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, Fia boko. That's it. But yeah, that was cool. Like southwards.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, Hawaii. Hawaii was so the state of Hawaii derives its name from the name of its largest island, Hawaii.
Yeah.
So the common explanation is that Hawaii is named for Hawaii Loa, mm-hmm. which is a legendary figure from Hawaiian myth who's said to have discovered the islands when they first settled.
Okay.
Yeah. That one was pretty
That one was also very nice.
All of them are.
Like, why are we so extra? Why is someone so extra for?
I know. So Tuvalu. So this one was pretty cool too. So from first settlement, so 8 of the 9 islands of Tuvalu mm-hmm. were inhabited. So that's where the name came from. So Tuvalu. Valu is 8. Yeah. So 8. So it means 8 standing together.
That one's so like to the point.
I I know.
I'm getting heated.
But that's also like literal, like tu stand, valu, eight.
Eight.
So if I was little, it would be like, yeah, that
Tu
chicken
valu.
is forbidden.
I'm done. I'm done.
Forbidden chicken.
Ah, man.
All right. So Fiji. So the name of Fiji's main island is Viti Levu. Viti Levu. Served as the origin of the name Fiji. So Fijians called their home Viti, but the Tongans called it Fisi. And then the foreigners, their translation of Fisi was Fiji.
Ah.
And that's where it came from. I was going to say J in the
Where
in the
did the J come from? Yeah.
So Fiji. Cook Islands. It's better than Fisi, actually. Because Fisi in Samoan is peel. So Cook Islands. There's 15 islands that make up the Cook Islands. So Rarotonga, Aitutaki, etc. It was originally named the Hervey Isles. After a British lord. But the Russians named it Cook Island in honor of Captain James Cook. Yeah. So in 1888, they became part of the British Dominion due to fears France may seize the islands first, but they later became independent.
I don't think a lot of islanders like that though.
Oh, no, all of them were pretty much colonized.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Like a lot of us are not fans of James Cook.
Yeah. But I'll get to it later because it was actually pissing me off when I was researching this. So I'll go into the next one and I'll tell you why. So the next one is French Polynesia. So French Polynesia is made of 118 islands. And they're all owned by the French. So they have like it's like a cluster of islands. So say like, you know, Samoa, how we have, Western Samoa, American Samoa, and then you have the little islands and that. So, but it's all like Samoa.
Yeah.
Well, the western side is all Samoa.
Yeah.
That was a bad explanation.
No, because it's American Samoa is because the United States have owned American Samoa. Like they've made it a state. Whereas Western Samoa is like, it became its own independent country.
Yeah, but say you have an island and then you have all the other islands around it, and then that's all considered one. Yeah. So this one, French Polynesia. So there's just so many of them. Like there's so many cluster of islands, 118. But it's almost like they were also separated in like kind of like districts sort of things. So like this cluster of island is called the Marquesas Islands. And then this other cluster of islands is called Society Islands. And I didn't know it was called Society Islands. But within Society Islands, you have Tahiti and Bora Bora. Yeah. Tuamotu is another one. Gambier Islands, Tupuai Islands, Duke of Gloucester Islands, and this one, Disappointment Islands.
No!
Yeah.
No!
I was like, what the fuck?
Like there's an island within
legit Disappointment
Island.
Yeah. So
wow.
I know. But listen to this. So Disappointment Islands, right? The first Europeans to see these islands was Ferdinand Magellan in his 1520 expedition. Anyway, he had called them the Unfortunate Islands.
Does he say why?
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Let me just backtrack. I didn't explain. Yep. So Disappointment Islands is made up of what's the island? Napuka and Tepoto. So there's an island called Napuka and Tepoto. So both of them are the Disappointment Islands. Yeah. Originally, they were called Unfortunate Islands because the sailors could not find water source there from which to replenish while on their route to the Philippine Islands. Yep. And then, so that was from the first European, and then another European went there.
Of course they did.
And so he went there, and he, in 1765, with British explorer John Byron.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, it was, a European contact and a British explorer. And they named it Disappointment Islands because he found the natives to be hostile towards him.
I wonder why.
I was like, what the hell? Like, because I was looking at, like, French Polynesia, because I don't, like, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because there's a lot of islands I don't even know about. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea that, you had, like, a whole bunch of these islands in Polynesian islands that are still owned by the French, some that are still owned by, like,
the British.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of islands that are not independent.
Yeah.
But tend to be called fucking Disappointment Islands, really?
Like the arrogance.
I know. But I was just like, and then to read that before that, it was called Unfortunate Islands. Imagine, like, somebody who like, you have like a grandma that lives there.
Yeah.
It's like, grandma, tell me where you're from. I'm from the Disappointment Islands. Yeah, it used to be called Unfortunate
Islands. The nerve. I'm so like,
I know.
But then you can't like, it's gonna bring it like open a whole can of worms and stuff. But like that to me shows why natives and us brown people as a people are not massive fans of Palangis. And I know it wasn't the Palangis now, like obviously they didn't do anything to us, but there's just, because that's our history, it's like, that's why we're not happy. Like, that's a reason. To me, it's a valid reason.
Yeah. And that's why I like to go back to, so when I was looking into this, I was to go back to Cook Islands, right? Mm-hmm. So you got the 15 islands of Cook Islands. So the reason why, so when it was like, it was a British dominion.
Yeah.
So they seized it because so that it's not seized by the French, who already have 118 islands. But it's like these people are just like taking these islands, naming them whatever the hell they want to name them, and they're like, the natives are just supposed to go with it.
Yeah.
And they introduced a lot of shit to the islands, and that's sort of changed our way of life and all that.
Yeah.
And it sort of ties into why we are the way we are and why there's stereotypes about it, because it's all from colonialism.
Yeah.
But I was so pissed off.
That's
was
so...
like, really? And even the Cook Islands?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, James, you know what? These islands, they're my islands.
Yeah. Like, I stole it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to name it.
After me. Yeah. Well, the Russians named it after him, but still, like... but, yeah. So, like... but, like, Cook Islands, they became independent after the British rule, but French Polynesia is still under French. So I didn't even know Tahiti was part of it. But
I think that's why, because I remember reading this book. I have this friend at work. He's an old guy, and he loves Pacific history. Yeah, and he was asking for my sort of input, and he gave me this book. It was basically about how James Cook, went to New Zealand.
Yeah,
and I was reading this particular chapter, and it was talking about how when they arrived, there were Māoris like on the beach and whatever, and because they've come into their territory, they were hostile. And I was already like, when I was reading it, I was already like, well, bruh. Anyways, they had all their their weapons and stuff. The Māoris, they had their stuff, and James Cook and whoever he came on, like his crew, whatever. They were on the beach, and I think it was they were just standing there, like, two sides, just staring each other out, like sussing each other out and whatever. That someone, I think because one of the Māoris tried to like approach with their weapon. Yeah. And one of the crew members, the Europeans, shot him. And that was the first time they had ever seen like a gun, like bullets, like they've never seen anyone being killed by that specific weapon. Yeah. That they were just like dumbfounded. They were like, what the hell just happened? Yeah. They were just watching, because he was a big, stocky, like brown guy. so they were just like, what the heck? And then they found out later on that it was the Maoli's chief's son.
Yeah.
So I remember reading this and I was so mad because I'm like, you're entering a place that's not yours, and you're getting all like frustrated because they're hostile, and then you kill someone.
You're assuming they're hostile.
Yeah. And then you shoot them thinking, because they're in their minds like, no, this is our territory.
Yeah.
We're coming here to take over it. We have a right to do this.
And it's
then,
also like curious, like who are these people? I've never seen
exactly.
what they look like.
They've never seen white people before. Like they're just like
vice versa, man. Like,
exactly. Like it's just it just made me so. I was like, take your book away from me. Because I was like, of course I'm not gonna like this stuff. He was like, can you read this specific chapter and tell me what you think about it? I read it and I was like, why would you give me this? I'm trying to work.
I know.
I was like, now I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just I didn't know. I was so ignorant because I had no idea how disliked Captain James Cook is as a person. I had no idea because in school we learn about how he's like amazing, how
he's a hero.
Hard out. Like that's what we learn in Australian schools. So I had no idea until I got older and I'd see a lot of stuff that our people bring out like on podcasts or blogs or like news or whatever. And it just opened my eyes to see like, oh my gosh, like we've been worshipping this guy who stole hundreds of like people's lands and stuff. Why are they teaching this in school though? Like I don't understand.
I know. But it's almost like you're taught to be grateful. Yeah. Because without him we wouldn't be here. But it's like you wouldn't be here. Yeah. We were voyagers, so like we would have all gotten along. Yeah. Bloody hell. You white people came here.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I brought that up and I thought I wanted to do like a bit of a history lesson. And
that's really good.
For me, it was also a geography lesson. Yeah. I also did not know where a lot of these islands
I had no idea there was any such thing as a disappointment island. Yeah. You can't even make this stuff up. Same. I'm just sitting here like, nah, are you sure?
Yeah, no, you cannot. I will put the map down here and I will show you. Yeah. Because it was like, because when I was looking at French Polynesia, it was right in the corner, and so I couldn't really see it. So I was focusing on the other ones, and I was like, "What?
No way!
Wait, is that a typo?"
Yeah.
And I looked back and like, "You kidding me?" So I googled Disappointment Islands, and it was legit, and it legit called Disappointment Islands, and that's not changed. It's still Disappointment Islands to this day.
See, that's dirty, man. I know that's so dirty.
But yeah, so I wanted to get into like, bring up some like, facts and some history lessons based on like, where we're from and all of that. But I also wanted to like sort of
expose,
like just talk about it. Like, how do you feel, just hearing that? Because at first I was like interested in, I want to know more about where these, where we came from, where, like, what our island means sort of thing.
Because most of us don't know. Like, we're not taught this in schools. No. And I don't even know if it's taught in Samoan schools, like the origin of where the name Samoa came from and where we came from. Like, I'm pretty sure what they're learning is like the alphabet and like, which is fine because, we need to learn that. But I don't think they're going, like, they're actually going into, like, our history and where we come from and the names and everything.
Yeah. And because like, with our podcast, we try and sort of like tackle as much as we can to know more about ourselves because like we're on a journey to know more about our roots in that. Yeah. So I thought this was interesting. What I found interesting about this research was that so you have Samoa, Tonga and all that, like that have the, their name, their country name in their language. Yeah. Yeah. And if you look at it, most like those islands are mostly occupied by like Samoans, mostly occupied by Samoans, Tongans. But like, and then you look at all the other ones, like say for example, just looking at Australia and New Zealand. Yeah. Like the, everybody else pretty much outnumbers the natives now. And even like the name for Australia and New Zealand, that's not a native name. Like, that's not in a native language. Yeah. Like, so.
It's a good thing that New Zealand has, aotearoa and stuff like.
Yeah. But like, is aotearoa derived from New Zealand?
I thought it was.
So, so originally it would have been.
Oh, I think I know what you're trying to. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been a white person that called it New Zealand. Somebody translated it into Aotearoa, and then. But didn't Ade say that there was no name?
Yeah.
They would just go by tribes.
By tribes. That's true. Ooh, sorry.
But that's the same with us. Like islands, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at the Cook Islands.
Yeah.
They were not Cook Islands because I was like trying to research what was it called before it was Cook Islands. But I don't think they were clustered as one to be called Cook Islands, you know,
especially if there's 15 islands in it.
I think it was just you just had Rarotonga. It was just Rarotonga. That's it. Like, you know, we all had our like it was like there were just so many islands. You know, we all sort of migrated to these islands, and that was our home.
Yeah.
And then people come in and they tell you, oh, you know what? No, you and your neighbor. Well, this is the street name.
Yeah.
It's like no, we were here before.
Yeah.
They have their own, we have our own.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, we love living like that, you know.
It's like we're living in peace right now, guys. Leave us alone.
And it's like, no, you guys, you know, room together. Like, it was pissing me off just researching it, but it was like, oh, the frustration of that, you know, imagine being in that time and you guys had, like, you know, you have worked so hard to be the first inhabitants of an island. And like, you know, now you got your way of life.
Yeah, you have a routine down. You like know how to survive. You're like looking after each other.
You've set up your house and everything, and and you know you got everything, all your essentials and blah blah. And then someone comes in and says, you know, I own that.
Yeah, and I'm taking everything.
Yeah. And then they bring their shit that just caused illnesses.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. What did you think?
It was really eye-opening because again, we don't learn this stuff. So when you hear about it, it really makes you think.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think the argument I have a lot with my friends who are Palangis is that like not get over it, but they say it in a way where it's like they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like they're like themselves didn't do it.
Yeah.
We ourselves didn't experience it.
Yeah.
So like what's done is done kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which to me is a terrible mindset to have because like for me, if the roles were reversed, then they would understand. Yeah. Then they'd be like, oh my gosh, like my ancestors were put through this type of hell.
Yeah. And
as a result, we're now where we are.
Yeah.
That's what shits me. I agree to disagree because we're adults, we're civil. But I just don't like when we have discussions and they think just because they're too focused on the now.
Yeah.
So they're just like, but we didn't do that to you and you're not going through it right now. Like we're all living in peace and whatever. And I'm like, I get that. Like I didn't say anything about that, but you also can't be blind to how we all got to where we are.
Yeah.
Like that's just straight up.
Yeah. And how we're meant to feel like minorities in our own country.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not saying that this is my country or anything, but like, if you look at the Aboriginal people, they're made to feel like minorities in a country that they first inhabited before like European settlement. So, yeah.
I think that's why I not that I don't get along, but I do get along with quite a lot of natives. Yeah. Because I think we just get each other.
Yeah. And I get that as well with the, you know, that was back then, you know, now is a different time and everything. But, and I know we can't change anything. Yeah. But like, I think I don't know, like there's something refreshing about knowing your history. Yeah. And knowing that like all the stereotypes that we were sort of forced to believe in ourselves or why we think we are the way we are because it wasn't always the way we are. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like just knowing that, no, I wasn't like that. Like our people weren't like that before. Like we were actually strong people. We were actually, you know, like this and that. Yeah. And just knowing that is...
like really it makes comforting. You, yeah, exactly. Because in order for you to understand who you are as a person and where you're at, you got to just go back.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, what society deems as your flaws was never our flaws. Yeah, it's something that they sort of conditioned us to believe. So yeah,
that's super interesting. Super good. But I'd love to hear people's experiences though, like when they do have discussions with other people. Cause I know. I don't know. It's only me. I'm all right with friends. I don't think I would be as confident discussing it with someone who's a whiapoko.
Yeah.
Because, sorry. It's not for us because then then it gets heated.
Yeah.
Whereas when you talk about it amongst friends, it's easy for you to be open and like talk about it for real. And so I'd love to hear if anyone else has experienced that or what they think about it. And if you heard about Disappointment Island, can you tell us? Because I swear
if you're from Disappointment Islands, please.
Yeah, can you tell us and like what it's like there and how you feel about that name, or if you call it something else?
Yeah. And also for, if you're watching and, you're from a Pacific island that we haven't mentioned, please let us know what your island name is.
Yeah, and the orange. Yeah. It'll be so interesting to learn about because we're that's what we're loving right now. It's learning so much about like
I know
the Polynesian side of like everything. So it's good.
And that was just like mostly Polynesian islands, so we didn't even delve into like Melanesian, Micronesian islands. So there's so many. I wonder if they also go through the same experience as well.
I would assume so. To be honest, like I don't know.
True. Yeah. But it was something to think about. And fetching that like. Can somebody do a what do you call it? A movement to change Disappointment Islands?
I would petition or something like. If you're the prime minister or something of that country, like sort your shit out, man. Jeez.
I know. But yeah, that's all I had for today.
That's awesome. All right. Well, that's our episode for today, guys. Hope you're all well. Hope everyone's good and healthy and happy. And we'll catch you at the next episode.
Yeah.